Hi folks, we're going to take a look at number 8 here from the December 14th worksheet. So here they give us some information about how the angle of rotation of a Ferris wheel is related to time. Okay, so here's the equation there. And then they give us an equation for the height of a rider with respect to the angle of rotation, which is given by h of theta right there. And they want us to write an equation for the rider's height in terms of time. Okay, so what we have is we have h, which is given as a function of theta, but theta is itself given as a function of time, so this is going to allow us to write h directly in terms of time. Okay, so essentially what we're determining here is the function h circle theta at t. Okay, so let's do that here. So we have h at theta. So theta t is given by pi t over 15. Okay, and now we'll just input this expression wherever I see theta in my equation. So this is going to be 20 sine pi over 15t plus 22. Okay, now before I go on, I just want to remind you that this looks a lot like the types of functions that we were coming up with in the previous unit. We just didn't see them as being composite functions. Okay. Okay, so now we have exactly what we're looking for. We have h directly in terms of t. So here's our answer for A. Now I'm not going to graph these in B, but let's just take a look at what we'd have. So first of all, if we want to plot theta t is just pi over 15t, we realize that this should just look like a linear equation. Okay, since it's just some constant times a variable to the exponent of 1, this is just going to be a line. So that means that theta increases linearly with respect to time. Okay, and of course if you're going to graph the other two, h of t and h of theta, we notice that they're going to have a lot of things in common. They're going to have the same amplitude. They're going to have the same axis, which means they're going to have the same maximums and minimums. The only thing that's going to be different is going to be the periods, which is what they're asking us to do in C. Okay, and so if we look at the period for h at theta, well, here, that's just a regular old sine function, so the period will just be 2 pi, which makes sense, 2 pi radians to go around. And then the period for h at t, well, is just going to be, because I have a k value now, 2 pi divided by pi over 15. Pi's cancel out, so this is like 2 times 15, so it's just going to be 30. Okay, so they'll have quite different periods. This has a period around 6.28. That one's got a period of 30. Okay, so just a quick recap. Essentially, now we've seen these types of questions a few times where you have, one measurement given in terms of another, and that measurement is given in terms of a third, and we can write the equation so that we write the first directly in terms of the third. In this case here, height